Hey, my friend, it's Massaro, CEO of Moving Mastery and founder of Moving Sales Academy. Do you buy moving leads now? Did you try to buy moving leads at some point and maybe you gave up on them? You know, regardless of where you're at, I'm sure you know the frustration that could come along with buying moving leads. But they're a very profitable source of business if handled correctly, all right? Listen, if you're used to yellow page advertising or, SEO on your website or pay-per-click or sending out postcards or advertising with Yelp, these sources convert much higher than moving leads, right? And the reason is essentially those sources are rolling out the red carpet for you. Let me give you an example. If someone receives your postcard in the mail, right? They look at your postcard, they like what they see, they've already read some bullet points about your company, maybe they go on your website, they see some more stuff, then they pick up the phone and they call you. They've already had an introduction to your company, right? They already like what they see and they chose to call you, or they chose to go on your website and request an estimate. With moving leads, they're just going online looking for, a good deal on a move. They request some moving estimates from a lead provider, and they know they're going to get a call from however, 3, 5, sometimes 10 companies for their moving quote, but they don't know you specifically. They just know that you're one of those companies, right? So, the way that you approach moving leads and the way that you, relate to them in the big picture of your marketing has to be completely different than the other sources like, Google pay-per-click and Yelp and your postcards and whatever else you're doing. Moving leads are completely different. So I want to give you 6 things that you can do to help maximize moving leads so that you could really, dive in any time of the year, buy some moving leads and make money with them, all right? You just first have to start by accepting the fact that it's going to be a lower booking percentage, period. Just accept that. That's part of the frustration. That's part of why a lot of people will start with moving leads and then give up on moving leads because they don't convert as high as other sources. If somebody's coming from your website, if somebody submits a request for a quote from your website, depending on the market you're in, your booking percentage, your closing ratio could be anywhere from 25 to even 50%. On a lead that's coming in off a request on your website. Whereas a lead provider, whether it's, local or long distance move, could be anywhere from 2% to, maybe 15%, maybe, all right? That's very high, but typically it's gonna be, 2 to 5%, maybe 10% with some lead sources that don't sell to as many moving companies. But you have to accept the fact that it's just going to be a lower booking percentage, meaning that you're going to have to call, you're going to have to speak to more people in order to close as many deals, all right? So you might not like the sound of that, but what you want to focus on is you want to focus on your ROI. Because although you may have to make more phone calls, although you may not book as many of these leads, you want to focus on your ROI because if that, and when I say ROI, that's return on investment, okay? So your return on investment is how much did you spend for those leads versus how much did you make from those leads. That's the number you want to focus on because if you focus on your booking percentage, it's just going to be discouraging. It's not going to look like they're working. But, if you get 100 leads and let's say you only book 3 of them, let's just say only 3. Look at the math and see how much money did you bring in on those 3 jobs versus what you spent on the leads. That's your marketing ROI. That's the number you want to focus on. The third thing is you have to treat these leads like they're ringing phones. All right, and let me tell you what I mean by that. I used to always say this in my office. Treat the leads like they're ringing phones. If the phone was ringing, you wouldn't let it just ring and ring and ring and ring. Somebody would pick it up, right? With a moving lead, when it comes in and it hits your inbox, you need to get them on the phone immediately. You can't just let it sit in the inbox for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, half a day, 1, 2 days till you call it back. You want to let the phone ring that long. Don't let a lead sit in an inbox that long, all right? Imagine it's a ringing phone. Imagine every time it comes in, it's just ringing and ringing and ringing. It's very easy for your staff and for you to kind of let them take the back burner because it's just sitting there in an inbox or it's sitting there in your CRM, right? There's no reminder that these people are waiting to hear from you. They're waiting for an estimate. You want to be quick and responsive getting back to leads to be able to book more of them. You also want to have a set lead follow-up process, all right? You can't just buy leads, bring them in, and, not have something set up in your company for exactly when you should call them, how many times you should call them, and when you should stop calling them. All right, I'll give you an example. So in my company, what we did was we did a 2+1. That means on the first day, we call them twice. On the second day, we call them one more time. And this is to get a hold of them, all right? This is before you even ever speak to them to give them an estimate. We call them twice on the first day, one more time on the second day, and after that, that was it. All right, but we made sure that we made those 3 contacts because, sometimes you may call a lead once and never call it back. That's not enough follow-up, right? Other companies will sit and they'll call a lead 10 times until they finally get them on the phone. And what I say is if you're spending that much time trying to get a lead on the phone, you need to be spending more time following up with customers that you already gave an estimate to. There's more money in that than chasing down leads that you don't know if there's even a real person on the other end, right? So make sure you have a set lead follow-up process when leads come in, and this goes for all your leads, not just moving leads. This goes for all your leads, and make sure everyone in your company is following that. Number 5, we talked about rolling out the red carpet with, when you send out a postcard. So when you have leads, you have to roll out your own red carpet. So you have to change your pitch a little bit. You have to change what you say to these customers a little bit because they don't know you. They haven't already seen your trucks or they haven't already seen your website, right? So you kind of have to roll out your own red carpet and give your own introduction on these leads, all right? These are ways that are going to help you book more moving leads, all right? Number 6, follow up after you give an estimate. I can't tell you how many people are falling short here and leaving so much money on the table. After you give somebody an estimate, don't just sit back and say, you know what, if they want to call me, if they want to book their move with our company, they'll call me back. No, you have to have a set follow-up process for all your leads, not even just moving leads. Every customer that calls in after you give them an estimate, you need to make sure that you're following up. All right, especially on moving leads. If you follow these 6 steps, if you're not doing this stuff now and you're not buying moving leads, go buy moving leads. Start using these 6 steps. Track your ROI, see how it's going, make some adjustments, all right? You're leaving money on the table if you're not buying moving leads. And if you're buying them now and you're not on top of the follow-up process, you're not treating them like a ringing phone, you're leaving money on the table, all right? So I hope this was helpful. Go out there and maximize these moving leads. It's a huge, huge piece, all right? It may not seem like, you get as much business as you get from, maybe your postcard campaign, or maybe your Google pay-per-click campaign, or maybe you have a great SEO campaign going with your website and you get a ton of calls and a ton of leads. This is extra business, all right? I have no problem putting in a little extra work to get some extra business, and you shouldn't either, all right? Until next week, go out there every single day, profit in business, thrive in life. I'll see you later. Hey, my friend, it's Lewis. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do me 2 favors. Number 1, subscribe to this channel so that you continue to get updates every time I release new training for you. And number 2, if you want to build a rock-solid sales process in your moving company and continue to book moves on a regular basis and just increase sales, what I'd love to do is teach you the 6 stages of building a moving sales machine in your company. All right? These are the same 6 stages that I use to build my company to a multi-million-dollar nationwide level where we were booking 12,000 moves a year or $20 million in business. And I'd love to train you for free on how to do that in your company. All right. So simply click on the link on this page or head over to lewismassaro.com/6 stages. So that's Lewis, L-O-U-I-S, Massaro, M-A-S-S-A-R-O.com /6 stages, and you'll get instant access and meet me back here, and we're gonna walk through the 6 stages of how to build a moving sales machine in your company. All right, so until I see you on the other side, until I see you back here for the free training, go out there every single day and profit in business and thrive in life. I'll see you later.